Welcome to the Daily Spiral. Okay, let's talk about that soul-crushing breakup you're probably going through. The one where you're doom scrolling at 3 a.m., absolutely convinced you personally failed at love. Yeah, spoiler alert, you didn't fail. We're gonna break down how your relationship was basically, and I mean literally, rigged from the start by your own DNA.
Let me say that one more time so it really sinks in. You think you failed because it all fell apart after a few years? No, absolutely not. You successfully completed the biological contract. Your ancient caveman brain just gave you a little check mark and was like, task complete, next.
So let's get into the receipts, because this isn't just a vibe, this is actual hard data. We're calling this the 4-year glitch. I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. Doesn't it feel like every other couple you know hits this massive, dramatic wall around the exact same time? It's not a coincidence, okay? And it's not because everyone suddenly gets bored. There is a biological timer ticking inside of all of us. Okay, so this isn't some random theory you found on TikTok. This comes from a brilliant anthropologist, Helen Fisher, and she called it the 4-year itch. It is a documented worldwide phenomenon where relationships are most likely to completely implode right around the 4-year mark.
And when I say worldwide, I really mean it. She looked at divorce data across 62 different societies.
That's right, 62. From hunter-gatherer tribes to people living in huge modern cities, the pattern was exactly the same. So no, this is not about your attachment style or because you swiped on the wrong apps. This is a deeply programmed universal biological law.
And just look at this graph. The risk of breaking up at year 4 isn't just a little higher, it's a skyscraper. It absolutely dwarfs the risk at any other time, which makes it the most dangerous year for any relationship, period. And hey, while your brain is rebooting from that little existential crisis, why don't you go ahead and like and subscribe?
So the big question is, why 4 years? Why that specific number? Well, it's because our biology has a very specific and kind of ruthless breakup clause written right into our code. It all comes down to what scientists call the ancestral weaning cycle. See, for our prehistoric ancestors, the game plan was brutally efficient. Step 1, form a pair bond. Step 2, conceive a child. Step 3, work together to keep that tiny human alive until they're semi-independent. And guess how long that takes? Yep, about 4 years. Then came step 4, mission accomplished. Time to dissolve the bond and find new partners to, maximize genetic diversity. You see, our biology isn't programmed for the Disney movie forever. It's programmed for long enough, just long enough to make sure the next generation survives. And after that, from a purely evolutionary standpoint, the partnership has served its primary purpose. This whole pattern actually has a name: serial monogamy. We are literally wired to have a series of intense, bonded relationships, one after the other. We're not meant to be like swans, mating for life. We're more like a highly committed seasonal renters of each other's lives. And this brings us to the main event, the epic, daily battle between the happily ever after fantasy that society sells us and the ancient primal wiring inside our own bodies. So let's get some perspective here. We act like monogamy is the default setting, but in the entire mammal kingdom, only about 5% of species practice it. 95% are out there living their best non-monogamous lives. We are the weirdos for even attempting this whole thing. And here's the real tea. Scientists make this super important distinction. We are excellent at social monogamy. That's, building a life together, raising kids, splitting the bills. We can totally do that. But lifelong sexual monogamy, staying sexually exclusive with one person for 50+ years, our primal wiring is just not designed for that kind of marathon.
So that constant friction you feel, that feeling that your relationship is just so much work, that is literally the sound of you fighting against a million years of evolution. It's the tension between society's romantic ideals and your biological reality. So what does all of this mean for you? Well, your final mission, should you choose to accept it, is to stop fighting your own DNA and stop beating yourself up for just being a human. Let's just get this straight. Monogamy is not our natural state. It's a social construct, not a biological mandate. Which means it is a choice, a conscious cultural decision that you can make. But it is an incredibly difficult one that requires you to actively swim against the powerful current of your biology every single day. So when you look back at that relationship, please stop seeing it as a failure.
You didn't fail. You succeeded at fulfilling a biological contract. You followed an ancient evolutionary script. You even helped maximize our species' genetic diversity. You're basically a hero for science.
So I'll just leave you with this. If Happily Ever After is just the greatest marketing campaign of all time, what are you going to build for yourself instead? What does success even look like when you stop trying to live up to a biological lie? Thank you for spiraling with us.